So let's look at the type of sequences that we have for Python and what sequences are. So sequences are data structures that allow us to store basically multiple elements in one variable. So if we wanted to store information for one thing, having one value inside of a variable would be fine. But let's say we wanted to store information for 1,000 things. Well, if we tried to use 1,000 variables, we would find it somewhat inconvenient having to write all those variables. So data structures allow us to store multiple things in one variable. And the sequence is the most basic data structure in Python. Each element of a sequence is assigned an index number, which you can get access to the specific element within that variable. For example, 0 is the first one, 1 is the next one, and so on and so forth. And there's 6 types of sequences: lists, tuples, strings, Unicode strings, buffer objects, X-range objects, and there's actually more than this in Python 3. But we're going to focus on lists and tuples for this module, and then strings later on. So lists can be changed and tuples can't be changed. So once you initialize a list, we're going to find that we can change the elements in lists. And so and then with tuples, once we initialize a tuple, we'll find that we can't modify the element. So we say that the list is mutable and a tuple is immutable. And so generally speaking, you'll use a list if you need to add or change or modify elements later, and tuples we'll use if, once we build that list, we don't really need to do anything with it. They're a little bit more efficient than lists if you don't really need to modify it later. And initially what we're going to look at are the common sequence operations. So there's a lot of operations which will work on whatever type of sequence it is, those common sequence operations will work on them. And then there are operations that are unique to lists and tuples and to specific types of sequences. So, and since strings are also sequences, we're going to find that those common sequence operations also work with strings. And the common sequence operations are indexing, slicing, adding, multiplying, and checking for membership. So we're going to learn each of those in turn in the following lessons. Thank you very much.